In a frantic effort to reassure independent voters that they are not really against war, Democratic presidential candidates are lining up to pledge that they would not take any options off the table in pursuing the so-called war on terror. Apparently, these candidates believe that liberal voters will vote for them regardless of how hawkish they are. Or perhaps, like former Democratic Senator Joseph Lieberman, they figure it is more important to get the votes of Republican and independent voters than those of liberal Democrats. The option that most people think of as having to remain on the table is the option of using a nuclear bomb against Iran. It is difficult to imagine why anyone would ever think this would be a good idea. Dropping a nuclear bomb on Iran would unite the Arab world and most of the rest of the world against the U.S. in a way that would make our disastrous occupation of Iraq look like a minor public relations misstep. Another option in the U.S. arsenal that should be taken off the table is the use of cluster bombs. These bombs trap people in an inescapable blanket of destruction. They are already illegal under international law, but we still manufacture them and even supply them to friendly nations, at least one of which has used them in attacks on civilians. Still another weapon the U.S. has been illegally using on a daily basis is chemical poison, which we deploy to destroy crops in our so-called war on drugs. These weapons, which are harmful to plant, animal, and human life, have devastating effects on the environment. The U.S. also continues to produce landmines, weapons that indiscriminately kill and maim civilians, especially children. Parts of the world are still littered with millions of these devices years after conflicts have ended. Every day, innocent people lose their legs and sometimes their lives to these leftover weapons. Aside from illegal weapons, the U.S. has also been employing illegal practices in recent years. Our torturing of prisoners has long been outlawed by the international community. Our indefinite detention of suspects without access to family or counsel, and our kidnapping of people and secretly transporting them over international borders are also illegal. When a Democratic candidate tries to polish his image as a strong leader who can appeal to middle America by blustering that he would not take any options off the table, the response of people who believe in adherence to international law, who value human life, who respect the environment, and who have learned the lessons of history should be to remind that candidate that some options were taken off the table years ago for good reason and should stay off the table.